It's Christian, your Vancouver realtor, and in today's video, we're looking at city shadow restrictions wiping out 24 homes here in the West End. And I really wanted to highlight what I saw at a City Hall Council session a couple of weeks ago, and you can also see it for yourself. It's online. But the key takeaway is how city restrictions can really make affordability and accessibility a lot harder for everybody in the downtown core and in the places like the West End. And I'm going to share with you in this video in a nutshell here what the situation is and what was decided. So let's jump into the situation. A number of years ago, a developer called Anthem Properties, they've been around a long time, 30, 40 years. They bought the old Chevron gas station at Georgia and Bidwell. And obviously the land was being underused as a gas station. And it's in a very prime location, 5 minutes from the seawall, 5 minutes from Stanley Park, Whole Foods, Safeway, 10-minute walk to Burrard Station. I mean, this is an ideal as a location as you can find anywhere in Vancouver, pure and simple. And the developer here has been negotiating with the city for 3 years. I mean, that's just too long. You know, in a lot of other major cities, this gets done within 12 months. Here in Vancouver, Anthem's application with the city's planning department has been, in the queue for over 3 years. So it's an example of how long it takes to get buildings approved and built in Vancouver. You know, I remember a developer, a vice president at one of these companies once saying to me, Christian, do you know it took the United States less time to announce and put a man on the moon than it does for us to get a tower approved and built in the city? And the point he was trying to make with that is it just takes so long to get supply on the market in Vancouver. And that's, I think, one of the reasons, guys, why affordability is such a big problem in Vancouver. Product takes so long to hit the market. So that's one issue. Second issue is when they do finally come to market, there's not enough homes. So in this case, these shadow restrictions killed 60 feet or 60 feet, about 6 stories, which would be 24 homes. That's 24 homes now that are not available to the public. Now you might say to me, Christian, well, those are going to be really expensive homes anyway, right? I mean, who can afford those $1 million condos, right? Because they're, right in, Cole Harbour, West End. Still, I'd say to you though, when I look at a lot of projects, half of them may be owner occupied, but the other half of the units are investor purchased, and they tend to rent them out. Imagine a 1 or 2 bedroom in this building. There could have been many more of those. You can have programmers living there. You can have people in the hospitality sector could be sharing a 2-bedroom. I know I shared a 2-bedroom when I was in my 20s. And that's not happening here because the city guidelines, the city staff basically kiboshed, 6 stories off of this tower. And a couple of things here. Now, the reason why, which was given, was that of shadow restrictions. And specifically, there's a park called Marina Park that is just on Bayshore. And there would have been a shadow about 6 to 8 months of the year, from the fall through winter to spring. And that was the concern here. Now think about this. I mean, in the summertime, the sun is really high in the sky, right? And there's no concern with shadows. But in the winter, there would have been a shadow. Now, in the winter in Vancouver, it's cloudy and rainy anyway. And I've jogged past that park many a time, and normally it's really just for dogs. It's small, it's underused, and it's just unfortunate that for a small technicality like this, we ended up losing homes. And during the meeting, the mayor made this point as well. I got to give him credit. He even told the city staff, he said, guys, this is, these are guidelines. These are not rules set in stone. These aren't laws, okay? We can be flexible in applying restrictions to these development proposals. And we really should have done that here, right? And he wanted to send it back and approve more height for this building because they cut 60 feet off of it. But that would have just delayed the project even more. And I guess the developer was just happy to get it approved finally so that they can get on with their project. A couple of things you want to know about here are the fact that whenever a developer does go to City Hall to get approval, they contribute money. They give the city money. It's called Community Amenity Contributions, or CACs. In this case, Anthem's giving the city $26 million. City probably left several $1 million on the table because they didn't build this thing higher. I mean, it's just, right? And they use that money for pools, parks, and and libraries, right? Which they can build or renovate. So unfortunately, they've left that money on the table here. And not only that, they've also left all the property taxes, right, that we pay every year on the table. And just doing some quick numbers, 24 units, all valued, let's say average 1.5 million, they've probably left about $4,500 per unit on the table, or $100,000 a year. So just a little bit unfortunate. This is a pretty cool project. If you look at the design of it, you can pull it up online. It's nothing tacky like that Bosa building that looks like a tree trunk over on Alberni and Bidwell. This is actually just a nice looking building, and unfortunately it's going to be really small, short. It should have been a lot taller. And when you compare this to what's happening in the suburbs like Burnaby and Surrey, they're building towers twice the size of this, folks. You look at Gilmore and Lougheed, Ani has a tower going up. I believe it's 63 stories, and it's going to be the tallest in British Columbia. Why is that in Burnaby? Why isn't that here in Vancouver? Especially a location like Georgia and Denman, which is a gateway location, right? You're coming over the bridge, Lionsgate, from North Vancouver through Stanley Park. You're on Georgia, which is our main thoroughfare. And we have this half-sized building because of shadow restrictions when there's no sun. That's what it amounts to. So very kind of disappointing move there on the part of the city. And hopefully they relax those restrictions. I know that the mayor was prodding them to do that in future projects. A couple of things to note. Projects like this do a lot for our local economy. It's estimated, according to the developer, 450 construction jobs. That's a lot of jobs, obviously. And these things, towers, take 2, 3, sometimes longer years to build. So it's great to put those people to work as well. So those are just a few thoughts that I had on this project, and just on the city in general. A lot of red tape and bureaucracy that I think we need to cut down on at City Hall, and hopefully that we won't miss these types of opportunities again. Because in Vancouver, there's not much land left. There's a couple of parkades over on Hastings and in the Seymour Lake location, but not many. And so when you're redeveloping a site like this, which is a dog park right now, right? There's not even grass there. It's just gravel and a dog park. And we want to get residents living in the city. That's the whole idea behind densification, right? We don't want people having to commute an hour by car from Langley if they don't need to, right? So why not have them living downtown? And unfortunately, the city here has fumbled the ball. At least the planning department has. I think the councilors and the mayor were all really in favor of the project, and good for them. So, let's hope that City Hall gets it right next time. And if you've got any questions, get in touch with us. You've got our email and contact in the section below. And if you've got comments, love to hear them. And we'll see you next time.